All right. In theory, I'm live. It's my first time doing this solo without my trusty live stream companion, Marta Ferguson of Wordhound Writer. But if you are watching this from anywhere, oops, I need to turn down the volume. I'm checking on my phone to make sure everything's working. If you are here, pop me a comment in the chat and let me know you can hear me. Let's see behind me here, I've got some of my newest work, not yet in frames, and my trusty easel, along with a couple of my favorite plants. I have quite a big setup over here. Maybe get to it later. I'll show you my plant window. But for now, I'm just here to welcome you to my studio, tell you a little bit about me, if you're new to me and my art, and why and what and how I create and all that kind of stuff. So at the end of this stream, I will have a code for you guys if you'd like to use it in my brand new online shop. Pretty excited about that. All right, first things first. I guess a bit about me, my influences and inspirations. A couple of my influences are Rita Kirkman and Daggy Wallace. Daggy Wallace has beautiful pastel artwork, very realistic. And Rita Kirkman's work is also realistic, but it has a lot more texture. And so, in watching how she creates, I've been playing with more texture, like on these bottom two. These are both two of my past studio helpers. And maybe you can tell in this one, there's a lot more texture in this one. This one is on commercial paper, so there's very little. There's the texture of the sanded paper, but there's not like the brush texture when I applied it in the case of this little dog here, whereas here I used a foam roller, so very different patterns in the texture. So those two are influences, I would say. I've incorporated how they create them into the way I create. A couple of other people who are more inspirations bordering on influences would be one would be Jan Monkish. He was a Dutch painter in the tonalist movement, and like to depict everyday stuff, life, and I really love that look. A more contemporary one example would be Don Bishop. He does landscapes in a very tonalist style, and I love that kind of moody, murky, ethereal kind of look. And I'm slowly starting to bring that in, and I think it's starting to show here. So they may soon become more influences than inspirations. Why do I like to create? Personally, for me, it slows my mind down, slows down my thoughts. They're always racing in one direction or another. And when I sit down to create art, um, I feel calm, I feel centered, and I'm focused on one thing. And it's just beautiful. I don't know how else to describe it. Also, it gives me a way to describe things visually that I don't have words for. I'm as my children and my wonderful husband can attest. We go on walks, and I'm looking all around and everywhere. You follow me on a trail, I tend to wander back and forth, and always looking at things. Go, ooh, look at this! Ooh, look at that! And instead of saying that over and over again, I can say, "Look what I drew! Just saw this thing on the trail, and look at this." Um, so it gives me words to describe things, and it also in the slowing down helps me understand myself and the world around me, and share that in a way that is hopefully understandable, and it at least is relatable. So anyone here yet? If you're here, I cannot see you, so jump in with comments if you've got them. um, And I'll talk a little bit about these projects I have here on my easel. Um, the bottom two, like I said, are past pets of mine. This is Kirby. This was Kirby, and this was her name started out as Mirage, but at one point she weighed like 20 pounds, and Large Marge became her moniker. And that is a picture of her in her early days. Actually, when I first moved into this room, moved my studio into this room, there is a little shelf over here. See if I can hand pan here. So that's the shelf right there that she was peeking out of when I first got in here, and I snapped that shot. And it's a long time ago, so the camera wasn't very good, and so it's very, very blurry. But I just love that expression. So when I did this, this is a started as watercolor paper, and I did the sketch on it, and then I tinted it with some transparent acrylic inks, and went over that with clear gesso and then the pastels. And when I applied the clear gesso in this one, I used a foam roller, so it has a more regular texture than say this one does. This one, Kirby, I used a brush, a big hake brush, to smooth that clear gesso on, and so it has a very different texture. And I thought it was interesting that the brushed texture held more detail than the rolled texture. Very interesting. So I think I'm going to continue playing with that because I have, I think, three other pieces I want to put into this series before I release them, and they will be the imagined studio helpers. So, for example, one is a Mexican pingicula or butterwort, which is a type of carnivorous plant. And when I had that little plant outside, the gray tree frogs liked to dig under it and ended up uprooting it many times until I brought it inside. But I thought that would be an interesting imagined studio helper, kind of a tree frog pingicula mashup, if you will, because the inside the pingiculas keep the fungus gnats down, that population in my house plants. So they are very much a studio helper. And another one is a rabbit's foot fern jumping spider mashup because I just think that would be cute. Let's see, the third one of that was, so this guy over here is an alligator fern. And there's a book, a kid's book that I used to read to my kids. I can't remember the name of it, but one of the characters in it was Alexander the alligator. And so I thought, an alligator fern alligator mashup might be interesting, but that one I can't quite visualize yet. So I will do lots of sketching on those, and we'll have more on that series as next year progresses. So hopefully I can get that series done and release those all five at once. The turtle up here, I'm going to try and also get together maybe at least five different turtle pieces. That one is on a commercial paper, UArt brand, specifically 600 grit, if you're curious. And just different turtles. That one I didn't find, but as I'm out hiking, if I find other turtles and can get some good pictures of them, I will add them to that series and have a series of just fun, goofy little turtles. I've been surprised over this year and last year how popular turtles are as far as artwork depicting them. Lots of turtle lovers out there, and I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of you, oh gosh, in Herman and even here in Columbia and also Rocheport. It was always very funny because I always knew who the turtle lovers were. They would come around and look at my, what is it? My booth, and go, oh, look at the turtle. All right, hang on a second here. Someone's saying that, yeah, YouTube is not loading, although I'm looking at it here. So let me see here. Hang on. Sitting at YouTube with event notification. Marta is, my live buddy is texting me saying it's not going live. Goodness. So there might be an issue with it. Let's see. Which is fine. That's why we do these things, right? To figure all of the things. Let's see. It says I'm live and I can view. Facebook says I'm live and can view. Hopefully you guys can hear me too. If I get a feedback loop. Oh, yep. All right, so that one's working for me. And now she's reloading. So hopefully it's working. Ah, working now? We'll see here. All right, so hopefully that is working. Yes, Marta made it. Yay. I am so glad that it worked because I was beginning to wonder. I was worried. Got all this done and all with myself, but that's okay. It's a good something did not fire with the notification system though. Oh, maybe I don't know. I kind of played with that oh, setting up an advance scheduling one in the interface, and I didn't realize that it put things out ahead of time to the other places, which is kind of cool, but maybe not as workable or something. Now I haven't checked. Let me do a quick check here. I'm assuming it's working on Facebook too. We'll find out shortly. Let's see. Anyway, what I've been going over this last 10 minutes, Marta, is uh, just what bit about my art, things that inspire me, um, these series that I'm working on, that kind of thing. And then the next I was going to go into was the places you can find me online. Yeah, it seems to be working on. Yep. Seems to, oops, knocking this around. There we go. Seems to be working online. Places you can find me online. And so I was going to share with you one of the many tabs I have open. No, just one of them. I'm going to start with my website, and that is just hopemartinartist.com. And that mostly right now it's kind of a holding place for putting pointers out in all the different directions I've got things going in. It's not elegant just yet. Elegant costs money. So I'm working on being able to do that. Um, but for right now, if you go to hopemartinartist.com, it's going to have links to just about everywhere I am. For example, if you go to artwork, this first link here is my online portfolio where you can see everything I've got out there. Some of it is sold, some of it is available. The first page you come to are the collections. I've got pet portraits. Birds have been a common theme, plants and flowers, the Autumn Repose series of leaves, and then my first foray into Plein aire. If you click on portfolio, though, it will take you to all of them and you can filter by available. And that's all there. Right now, it is not showing prices, though. There must be a setting I don't have clicked. But let me back up. And if you were, say, artwork's nice, but I don't have any wall space or I can't hang things on my walls, I have a Patreon page where you can support all of my art and learn about what I do behind the scenes. Different levels give you different levels of access. Some of them even have monthly or every other month pieces of art that I send you in the mail, like a little letter. And I will scroll through those. Now, this stroll tier and the ramble tier, you can get a 7-day free trial where you check it out and see if it's for you. If not, no problem. The range and trek tiers are where you have the little bits of art in the mail either every other month or every month as you want. Let me back up again. Now, if you're viewing this on YouTube, you already know I have a YouTube channel, but I also post things like um, time lapse of what I've been working on. Go to shorts here. I've been doing a lot of shorts because it works into my daily schedule as I'm videoing things for me and for the people who commission me. I will make little videos and put them up there and have those for everyone to see. Uh, for the cards and stickers, I have a new shop where any time of the year you want to pick up some cards to send to a friend, or I've also got limited edition prints. They are all available here in my web shop, and that is hope-martin-artist.square.site. All this lovely thing. You can get to it from my website. Go to hope-martin-artist.com, and that will get you there. And the latest shop update were these limited edition prints, and these will be coming down at the end of the day today. So if you want those, come and get them. And if you get both, I do have a code for you so that you can get free shipping. Oops, let me go forward one. There we go. And I will give that to you. Let's see. Let me go back. Marta, I've been playing with the banners. They are wonderful. So there we go. So free ship, VOS, all caps. You can go to the little cart art icon on my website right here, and that will allow you to do that. Now, let me look back at my sheet here. All right, the last thing that I've got is I have a virtual open studio room for you all if there are pieces that are available pieces you would like to check out. I will put that in the chat here. Well, now there's private chat and comments. What's the difference? I should probably put this in comments. So there is the link. And the password there is 2023 VOS for Virtual Open Studio. And let me switch over. I'm going to stop that screen and I'm going to share a different screen so you can see what that Virtual Open Studio looks like. So here we are. And this is just a special room in there for you guys where you can see the pieces I have available right now, as in they're all framed and ready to hang and it also shows prices. And for example, let's see, I'll click on my favorite one. See, I've hearted it. If you click on it and come in here, it will show you the frame that it's in. This particular frame was made by my husband, Bob. He does a fabulous job of framing, and I get him to do it whenever he can. For this bolter, and this is a big piece. This is like, oh gosh, what is it, 20 by 23? No, 20 by 16. So it is a larger piece, and you could kind of see that background and the halo on them, and the those kind of that furry feather boa they've got going. Very much to me has that tonalist quality to it, where it's just values on values and that subtlety. And I love, my goal has always been, hey, how can I combine those juicy details and that tonalist haziness to, I don't know, see what happens. And well, here's how it's happening so far. And I really like that. I love that look. Let me go back to all of it. So you can scroll through. See all these pieces. Some of them, the smaller ones, are very reasonable. These are different studies. Oh, this one's a special study. This one was done one of my first my first plein air painting event. I have a video on YouTube. You go check out my YouTube channel. and look at the videos, there is a video I did of that experience and all of the nerves I was on that. And this was a wild grapevine. I'm kind of looking up through it. I discovered to put a blue sky behind just about anything and it will look amazing. So, oh, here's the video. Down at the bottom of that page, there is that video I made. Um, Kind of treated it like a travel video. So go check that out if you would like to see how that went. Come back to this here. Oops, oh, it went twice. Oh, interesting. I'm seeing comments from both YouTube and Facebook in the comment section. So like when I post it, to post to all, it goes to all. Well, that would make sense. I could post to one or the other. Okay. So if I just wanted to post to, let's say to YouTube, I could say, hi, Marta. And that would go just to YouTube. Okay, cool. I'm learning so much. So anyway, I'm looking at, I just happened to glance at my phone. I have this, I checked it on my phone. It's still going and it's even giving captions real time. That's pretty nifty. So I am going to stop sharing and see if, well, Marty, you got any questions? Anything that didn't make sense? I know I started sharing about all the places I am online. So I have the website, I've got YouTube, got Patreon, I'm on Facebook, I'm also on Instagram. I'm a very big, Instagram seems to be my focus when it comes to social media, I think, just because it's so much of a visual, one that's very helpful. Let's see. Ah, Marta, I don't know anything about plein air painting. Tell me more. Well, I don't know much about it either. Well, I know just a little bit. There are people that love it, where you basically take everything you need and create art. I think there's a term for it, alla prima. So all at once on location. So it can be rainy, it can be hot, it could be cold, it could be windy, and you go create art out there. Um, and oh, there is this one local gentleman. I'm gonna look him up really quick on Instagram because he is also on Instagram. Who does a lot of it, and of course it's not pulling up for me. He does a lot of plein air painting, and I love his work. And I'm blanking on his name. But so you create it all at once out there, just totally immersed in the environment, that kind of thing. When I did that series that I did over there in Rocheport, and it was with Columbia Art League's first plein air event. I'm not a landscape person, perhaps you've noticed. I tend to do the opposite of landscapes, right? So instead of trying to become a landscape painter the week before the event, I was like, okay, I'm going to zoom in on stuff. And the way I did it was to, find what I was going to take a picture of. Like that grapevine was right in front of the tunnel in Rocheport. And there's kind of there's a wire, bit of fence up to keep you from, stumbling off the edge there. So I got crouched down with my phone and took a picture. And so I sat there across from it the whole time. And but then I could look at the phone, or I can go back and check in real life to see if there was something I couldn't quite make out on the photograph I had on my phone, and then sat there and created it. So I gave myself 3 hours. So I did that piece. All the pieces were done on location in 3 hours, and I did 6 of them. So that was 2 a day for 3 days. That was exhausting. I don't recommend doing that. That was too much. But it was the crazy goal I set for myself and was crazy enough to meet. So I met it. And I think if I were to do it again, which I played with last year, but I had too many other things going on. And I just thought I don't have the mental capacity for it, the creative capacity for it. So I didn't worry about it. But if I did it again, I would do because it's over 3 days. I would either do two, spend a day and a half on one and a day and a half on the other one, or maybe do a morning one and an evening one, and you still would spend a little time all 3 days on each one. The two. So in the morning, all 3 mornings I would work on the morning piece, and all 3 evenings I work the evening piece because you've got to account for the light. The light changes fast, and you've got to get the information down. And it's really, yeah. There's a lot to think about, and there's really a feeling of pressure, which can be fun, can be not fun. Um, so yeah, I think I would do, like I said, those two, morning one, afternoon or evening one, and then you have to submit them at the end of the day. And in this case, this is the only one I've done. Uh, Maybe other places, other events set up a little different. You brought your papers in and you got them stamped. And those are the only ones that you could turn in. At first, they said, "Yeah, just turn in whatever you create." By the last day, they're like, "Okay, you can only submit, was it two, one or two for the event?" They would show the others because I don't think they realized just how prolific a bunch of artists might be if given proper inspiration. So they did limit the amount you could submit to the event. So I submitted two, and then I sold one of them, which was looking up at a street sign. And so you had the trees and the blue sky behind it. And it was the corner of Second and Monotau, those streets in Rocheport. And a woman that lives there, forget her name. She had her building was right next to where we were setting up the show, and a little antique shop there. So she bought that piece, and yeah, that was kind of fun. Um, Artistic equivalent of writing sprints. Well, but more polished. Well, I don't know about polished. Mine were very rough. But yeah, other people who, if you do it a lot, maybe it's the same with writing sprints. You get good at it. You get in that groove, and your brain and creativity are trained to produce in that type of environment. So I think with practice, it can become polished. But I think the good thing about it and the bad thing about it maybe is you don't spend hours and hours and days and months agonizing over it. You do it and you let it go. And there's something very freeing about that. It's like, all right, I did my best, throw it out there, I'm done, and move on rather than agonizing. I like both approaches and use them both equally sometimes. These here, I'll spend a lot of time on agonizing over, or try not to agonize, but to ponder and give myself time to think and give that inspiration time to show its face, so to speak. But yeah, that was my experience with plein air painting. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, but well, at the time I didn't. I enjoy it now looking back. I think it was a great experience. At the time I was super super nervous, and yeah, that was crazy, but it was good. It was good. Let's see. I'm about almost a half hour in, and that was kind of what I had planned for this one. Well, here, I'll go into some of my next year's plans. I do want to do this a little more regularly, possibly on a quarterly basis next year, where I just live stream from my studio and welcome people to come in and ask me questions, look at what I've got, um, and so I can answer questions. And so, yeah, I'm going to be doing that probably March, April will be the next one. Might be one in January, but at least in March, April. That's kind of a big timeline for me and my studio yearly. 6 years ago, on my birthday in March, I started my Patreon page. So every year I kind of make a big deal and do a lot around that to share with people what I do with Patreon, and then my current patrons can share why they are still supporting me after all these years on Patreon. For me, it's a place where I know that I can count on that money coming in to pay some of these bills so that I can be more focused on the creating and in the sharing, you know, organizing my thoughts to share with other people. has made me much more focused in my studio as well. So that's kind of a double bonus for me. And for other people, if they just want to know, okay, how do you do that? How did that happen? They come along with me for the ride. For other artists who are learning about pastels, learning to create, I share my techniques so that they can also try them out. So it becomes a bit of a kind of an ongoing class. And I create videos, and we'll be creating more patron only videos so that it can become more of a class like situation for those who want it, that kind of thing. So that will be happening probably March time frame, right over March and April. So think that's really all I've got. Unless, Marta, you've got any questions? Any more questions? I'm going to call this good. Thank you, Marta, for letting me invade your, what is this, StreamYard, and make this work. If anyone is listening after, go check out Marta's channels. We have, I can see if I can remember the names. We have the Magical Mystery series. Marta, help me out here in the comments. And Marta's Sci-Fi Seminar, where if you have any questions about writing either mysteries or science fiction, she goes through all of it, top to bottom, and has been sharing all that. And I've been watching him, and the fascinating thing I found is just how similar creative writing is to creative artwork. I had no idea. Oh, there we go. Marta's Magical Mystery Class and Marta's Sci-Fi Seminar. Go check out hers. If you want to know, if you have, like especially what is that, NaNoWriMo, where you write a novel in a month and you need help, look up her channel. She can help you out there. And that information is all out there. My channel, I've got some pastel classes in a video where I sit down and go through the entire process, top to bottom, of making a turtle portrait. And that is in my video. So with that, I will consider this good and successful, and I will sign off and say thank you, Marta, for helping me out. And I will, Marta says I have a whole NaNoWriMo inspo series. Ooh, check that out, y'all, on her YouTube channel. And check her out also on Instagram. All right. With that, I will see you later. If you have any questions, leave comments. I will respond to comments. The studio, what is the room? The virtual open studio room with the code that's up there. And I put the link, halfway up. I will post it again. I will leave that up until tomorrow. So if there's anything that you like, you can heart it. Well, if you heart it, you've got to give it your email address if you don't feel like doing that. I understand. But if you do, that would be great. Join my email list. I do have an email list. I should I should let you know I have an email list. And if you'd like to be on my email list, go to the website. Let's see. I will share my screen. I'll show you where to find my email list. So go to my website and go to contact, and then check that little monkey face down there, and you get I need to change that. It's no longer, it's not just monthly. It's maybe 2 times a month now, sometimes 3 if I've got a lot going on, where you can keep up with everything I do with my art and getting it out there in public. All right, so I will stop sharing. I will come back to the StreamYard screen, and I will say thank you very much for coming. And yeah, catch you guys later. Have a great holiday if I don't see or hear from you before then, and I will catch y'all later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.